welcome to Trimester 1, Workout 1, Intermediate Level. If you're not sure if this is the right workout for you, then the right prenatal workout for you, I encourage you to check out the link that I'll post on this video that will explain why I think my series of prenatal videos will be the best available on YouTube. So without further ado, let's get started. If you get started through this workout and you find that this workout is a little bit too easy, there's going to be an advanced version also available, and if it's too hard, there's a beginner version available. What we're going to be doing is some core activation and some dynamic stretching to get you warmed up, and then we'll start working on a little bit of more global movement, some functional movement that will recruit your glutes and your hamstrings and get your posture working as well. So for today's intermediate workout, what you're going to need, ideally a pair of somewhere between 10 to 12 pound dumbbells. If you do not have 10 to 12 pound dumbbells, what you can do, you can grab a couple of laundry detergent or something similar like this. Make sure they're full. And what we're going to be using the weights for, or the laundry detergent bottles, will be a tiger deadlift. So something that looks like that. And as well, we're going to be using it for a single arm bench row. So if you have a standard weight bench, fantastic. But the assumption is if this is an intermediate workout, you may not have all the toys at your disposal. So a sturdy flat chair will do, and you can be doing single arm row. So your option, again, I'm going to be using some heavier dumbbells, but I will show the deadlift at the very least with this guy. So first thing I'm going to get you to do is to lie on the ground. One of the major focuses of your Trimester 1 will be core activation. So the assumption is if you are an intermediate, you've at least had some sort of exposure to core activation. So if I use the word Kegel, hopefully you know what that means. If you don't, please refer back to the beginning level for at least workout 1 and workout 2 to remind yourself. So what I want you to do, you're on your back. I want you to imagine there's a grape underneath your back. I want you to apply a little bit of pressure on that grape without crushing it. I want you to gently draw your belly button in, and I want you to fire that Kegel. So if you had to hold your pee muscles, or if you had to go to the washroom really badly, no washroom around, you don't want to have an accident, activate those muscles. Palms lay up, chest is open, activate and hold all of those little contractions. So the Kegel, the belly button gently drawn in, little grape pressed underneath your back, but still able to breathe gently through the rib cage. So that's kind of tricky. So just take a second there and ask yourself, can you still at the very least maintain your Kegel, but still do some really, really shallow breathing? So we'll experiment with both belly breathing and shallow breathing at this moment. I just want you to focus on the Kegel and doing your shallow breathing. Okay, so maintaining the Kegel, gentle belly button drawn in. What I want you to do is to march one leg at a time. Keep breathing, make sure you can breathe. Refocus on that Kegel, try to maintain the Kegel activation. Shoulders are open and relaxed, and we're going to march 10 times. That's about 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And relax, completely relax everything. Let the back go into whatever position feels comfortable. Chest is relaxed. We're going to reset that core and that Kegel. So first, imagine that you've got a little grape pressed underneath your back. Don't squish it, just apply a little bit of pressure. And then I want you to fire the Kegel. Draw that belly button in gently. Try to maintain that activation. Ensure you can still do a little bit of shallow breathing, and we're going to do another 10 marches. 2, 3, still think about that Kegel. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Okay, flip on over onto all fours, and from here we're going to do a little bit of core activation again. So from here, let the tummy just completely relax down. If you're starting to show, I'm just at about my 12th week now, so probably starting to show. You should be able to feel your tummy drop right down. Now draw that belly button up, fire that Kegel, And hold that for 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and release. Let everything drop. Sometimes just doing it in a different position gives you a little bit of better awareness, or at least it challenges you slightly differently. And again, draw that belly button up. Fire that Kegel. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Make sure you can still breathe and relax. One more time, we're going to reset. Draw that belly button in. Fire the Kegel. Hold. Now from here, I want you to reach one leg at a time. Reach it right back, still maintaining that core activation and that Kegel firing. Once again, we're going to do 10 movements. Double check. Is your belly button drawn in? Are you able to maintain that Kegel? When you reach that foot back, try to imagine that you're slicing through butter, something nice and thick. So you're activating the glutes maybe a little bit as you reach back. Minimal swing, just reaching the foot back and relax. Okay, would like you to stand up. Okay, so we've done both lying or supine and prone core activation. We're going to do a little bit of both dynamic stretching as well as hip activation here. So what I want you to do is we're going to do opposite leg airplane, core in nice and tight. I want you to reach the leg back, and you're going tipping forward far enough so you feel a slight stretch in the support leg. So you should be able to feel nice and controlled. So that's one focus of this movement. I'm going to advance it in just a second. What I want you to do as well when you stand back up is to focus on squeezing your glute and hamstring to pull your body back up. So you're not just lazily coming up, you're squeezing your glute and hamstring. So right here, fire, fire, squeeze to pull up. Take it over to the other side. Feel the stretch, establish balance, squeeze to pull up. Why this is so important, this movement pattern, or being able to recruit these muscles, is as you progress through your pregnancy, you're going to have more stress through the low back. If you can teach your glutes and hamstrings to take some of that work away from the low back, then your low back is going to be much happier. Less strain through the low back, teaching your glutes and hamstrings to take over some of that work. Okay, let's go 3 more. Squeezing actively to pull back up. Hinge forward, squeeze actively to pull back up. Squeeze actively. I'll turn to the front so you can see what I'm going to do here. I want you to reach back into a lunge position, raise your arms up and lower down. So hip flexor here, where we're trying to stretch. This is another area that will become important in your pregnancy, understanding where that muscle is, how to stretch it. As your low back gets tighter, more strain through the hip flexors, so we want to loosen those off. More load through your low back puts more strain through those hip flexors. So we want to make sure if you are feeling tight in the low back, sometimes stretching out that hip flexor is a nice way to alleviate low back stress. Also important for our dynamic stretch. Take it over to the other side so you're in a lunge position. So what I'm trying to do here through movement is to get a little bit of warm up. Play around with your back toe. Oftentimes if you have it tucked under, you're going to feel more stable. Pull the belly button in. Make sure you're not overarching. So I'm just lifting and reaching high rather than arching into a back, putting strain on that low back. I don't want to do that. One more here. Good. Okay, standing up. And we're just going to take that into a more dynamic movement, into a back lunge. Focus when you do the back lunge, hips nice and square. We're not going to do too many. The idea here, this is more of a dynamic stretch rather than a strength movement. It is for some of you, if you haven't trained in a while, will be a little bit of a strength movement, but we're not doing enough repetitions to get their strength, really. Reach, we will later on in future workouts. And last one here. And then another little dynamic stretch. You do not have to use a chair for this, but you can cross one leg over top of the other, and we're doing a glute stretch. And stretch, and stretch. 2 more. Last one on each side. And good. Okay, let's go back on your back, and we're doing our core activation one more time. And just changing it up slightly. Core in nice and tight. Little great pressed underneath your back. Kegel is fired. You're going to lift, extend the foot, and march, come back. So instead of just the basic march, we're reaching, extending that leg all the way out. When you do the leg extension, make sure you don't lose the Kegel. Make sure you don't lose that little pressure of that grape underneath your back. Make sure the shoulders stay open, so no rounding, no shoulders forward. Lift, reach, back up. Okay, relax, reset everything. So fire that Kegel, draw the belly button in, a little great pressed into the ground, breathing. Make sure shallow breathing. So we're aiming for about a total of 20 movements, so 10 aside. Let's go 6 more. Making sure that Kegel is still engaged. Shoulders are relaxed, a little great pressure. I've lost count. We'll do 2 more. Can't hurt to do another extra couple Kegel focuses. And last one right here. So as we get into the more difficult movements or more comprehensive movements in the workout, don't forget that feeling of the core activation and the Kegel drawn in. So on all fours, set the core, shoulders down and back. So let the belly drop for a second if you need to in order to help you remember how to reset. Belly button up, Kegel is fired, so pelvic floor is lifted, and then reaching one leg back at a time. Really making sure as you're doing this, your hips are staying nice and square. And reach. And reach. And reach. 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 One more, and we'll do another 10 after we reset. Relax, set the Kegel, belly button in tight. Often when I'm doing core exercises with clients or myself, every bare minimum 10 repetitions, sometimes as few as 2 or 4 or 6, I'm getting myself or my client to reset that core, because it's like a light bulb. Usually it turns on nice and strong, and then throughout the set it slowly fades, and giving yourself the chance to reset can make sure you haven't completely faded out. And as your endurance gets better, then you can hold for a little bit longer, that full set of 10 or even longer. But initially, I like no more than a set of 10. And last one there. Good. Okay. Just a couple of movement education things. We will just do this in this workout once, and then you can review if you need to. But one of the things we will be doing will be push-ups in our future workout. So just a quick reminder on how to set the shoulder blades in a push-up position. So what I want you to do is to let from the all fours position, let the shoulder blades collapse together, and then push out of the heels of the hands. And that at the top of the lift is almost where you want to be from a push-up position. So notice when I collapsed and pushed up, there's no movement from my elbows. I'm doing this all through my shoulder blades. And at the top of the movement, it's not so much the top of the movement that I round through the back. So if you can watch what I'm doing and then get yourself in front of the mirror and make sure you can do the same thing, that would be great. If you do have access to a good trainer, just get them to double check that you're doing this properly. In future, when we're doing our push-up, again, you want to be at that top of the movement. I'll just do one push-up here, and that's where you're going to be setting your body from the push-up. Okay, the other quick little movement education is spine awareness. So we're just going to do a couple cat-cows. The reason why I do this is to make sure you've got nice full spine movement, so the full arch and then the full tuck, so that if I ask you to find neutral spine, which is right in between nice and flat, you know how to find that. So just a quick glute hamstring activator here. From that nice flat spine, that neutral spine, I want you to draw your hands back just a little bit. I want you to squeeze your glutes and lift your body up. So what I'm asking you to do is recruit glutes and hamstrings to lift your body up. Squeeze and lift. And down. Squeeze and lift. So we're going to do a little bit of an experiment here. This is the movement that I like to do for a warm-up for a deadlift, because the focus is using those glutes and hamstrings to come up. So we're going to do one quick little set right here, just of 10 repetitions. I'm going to do a glute hamstring focus exercise, so meaning a movement that isn't necessarily quite as functional, but it really triggers or focuses on, or isolates, I guess is the word I'm looking for, the glutes and the hamstrings. And then we'll repeat this and see if you feel this even a little bit better. Okay, so flip over on your back, and we will do that glute hamstring right now. So what I want you to do, one leg is on the ground, opposite leg is lifted up, core is in tight. We're going to do a nice good hip bridge, squeeze glutes and hamstrings, and lower down. Lift and squeeze glutes and hammies, lower down. So we're just working the left side, core in tight. Now it's only trimester 1, so it's safe for you to be on your back. Trimester 2, we won't be doing really any activity in your back. For a lot of people, they may still be comfortable in the first few weeks in their second trimester, but for safety, I will not have you do when I post my videos. But for trimester 1, you should be fine. Lifting up, squeeze, and lower down. Lift up, squeeze, and lower down. We're aiming for 12 a side. Try not to make the quads do the work. It's glute and hammies. Squeeze and lower down. Switch over to the other side. Left leg goes up. Squeeze and lower down. Is your core set? Fire that core in Kegel, please. Lift up and lower down. Squeeze, lift up and lower down. Halfway. 1, 2, 3. Why so much focus on the glutes and hamstrings? Because as your pregnancy progresses, your belly's going to get bigger. It's going to put more load through your low back. Knowing how to use your glutes and hamstrings to do lifting movement patterns takes stress off your low back. So if we can teach the body how to effectively recruit the glutes and hammies, it will give your low back a rest when it's already under a lot of stress from the different position your body's going to be forced into. So get back on all fours, find that good neutral spine, slide your hands back, squeeze the glutes and hamstrings, pull your body back up. So hopefully glutes and hamstrings are nicely lit up, so that glute squeeze to come up. So I'm not pushing off my hands here. I'm using glutes and hamstrings. I'm thrusting my pelvis forward in order to come up. Squeeze glutes and hammies. Let's go 4 more. Play around with what works better for you. If you have your toes tucked under or shoelaces down, it really doesn't matter. Whatever's going to make you feel like you're more balanced and more able to use these guys, glutes and hammies, to come back up. And last one here. Okay, very good. Moving into our first functional movement series. So we're going to be doing what I call a tiger deadlift. Why is it called tiger deadlift? I believe the trainer who can lay claim to this, who was training Tiger Woods at the time, and it was a deadlift variation that really focused on the posture. So you're going to take your weight, so somewhere between, it depends, you know, some people will be able to handle 15, 20 pounds a side, but if you're new to this movement, maybe start lighter, 10 pounds at the most, or you don't have equipment, you can use your trusty, whatever you've got around the house, in my case, laundry. So what I would like you to do, you're going to go into a slight knee bend, okay? Not a huge knee bend, just a slight knee bend. You're hinging from the hips. You're going down with a flat back so that the laundry or the weights are about shin level. You're going to squeeze your glutes and hamstrings to pull your body up, and I'm rotating the weights backwards, which forces my posture to get involved as well. And then slide back down slowly. Squeeze glutes and hamstrings to come back up and back down. Squeeze glutes and hamstrings. So I'm not using my low back here to come up. I'm trying to make my glutes and hammies do the work. When I come up, I can go almost into a straight but not locked leg. When I come down, my knees slightly bend. Squeeze glutes and hamstrings to come up. And we're going to aim for, depends what weight you're doing. If you've got a lighter weight and you feel like you can do more repetitions, maybe you could go up to 15. Aim for at least 12. And let's go last one here. Really, if you want to get more posture movement, really force those thumbs back, but without going into a back arch, so still keep a neutral spine. So there's that first exercise. Make sure you put those down with a nice flat back and good posture. Grab your chair or your bench. Now I'm going to use a dumbbell for this one. Don't feel like you have to. If you want to stick with whatever weight you have available, or worst case scenario, if you just have your laundry, good old laundry things available. So when you are approaching the bench, you've got the knee at the back side, you've got the hand at the front, you've got your front leg or your outside leg slightly bent. Again, very important to find that good, nice straight back position from shoulder to hip. If you do not know if you're doing it properly, get yourself in front of a mirror and double check. That's very important. You want to be nice and safe. 12 repetitions. So I'm adding a little bit of a rotation. What I find is that helps recruit the back muscles, the upper back muscles in order to do this. And core is engaged. 1 for 12. I've got 3 more to go. 1, 2, last one, and 3. Switching over to the other side. So again, weight level that you should be using somewhere between 10 to 20 pounds for this, depending on how strong you are, how familiar with this movement you are. If you're unfamiliar with this movement and you haven't done a lot of weight training, stick with the lighter load, focus on form. And if you haven't done a lot of weight training, if you've got good body awareness, following these videos is probably adequate. If you have not great body awareness and you're choosing to use these videos for your main source, I would recommend seeking the advice of a live trainer just to double check your form on a few key movements. But get some guidance is better than none at all. That's why I'm putting together these videos. 3 to go. 2 and 3. Now notice when I was doing that movement, I was keeping my weight going close to the path of my back leg. If you end up pulling into this tight position here, you're going to end up using a lot of shoulder and not a lot of upper back. The idea is to almost have a 90-degree angle from here to here at the top of that lift. Okay, give yourself a quick little break. If you found that your low back got tight at all between those two movements, just take a quick second, sit on the chair, cross one leg over the other, do a little stretch forward, glute stretch here, over to the other side, glute stretch here, and then one more movement. Just let your head dangle down, grab onto your thighs and round your back up. You may not feel like you need to do this, and if so, you can progress right to your next set. So let's do that right now. So tiger deadlift. Remember, just a slight bend in the knees so we can focus on, the reason why we do this is getting ready to learn how to pick things off the ground like your baby, using your glutes and hamstrings and not your low back. Of course, if you don't have any kids right now, you might not be picking up a baby until after you've delivered, but for many of us, we have at least one child already. You're lifting up things like laundry, or if you're currently working, you may have files and papers that you're picking up. And throughout your pregnancy, you want to make sure glutes and hamstrings are doing the movement, doing the work, and low back is just an assister. But your glutes and hammies are doing most of the work. So from here, squeeze glutes and hamstrings to come back up. Opening up through the shoulders to recruit the postural muscles to come back up. 2 to go. Core is engaged, nice flat back. And 1 more set. Okay, so remember when you are doing this single arm row, try to keep we're going to start on the opposite side, try to keep the half of the weight near your back leg. So at the top of the movement, you're in a 90-degree angle. If you want to focus on some breathing, exhale up, inhale down. Keep that Kegel engaged. Four to go. 1. How are we doing? 2, 3, 4. So I'd love to hear some feedback on these videos. Up until now, other than at the intro and then ending, I don't include any music because number one, the only music that you can include has got to be, what is it called, royalty-free music. So I am limited to what types of music I can put in these videos. And I'm assuming that most people are either watching the videos or they're listening somehow to their own music. But if you'd like me to, I don't mind putting on a little bit of music. I can try that. You can let me know if you'd like. We'll see if you enjoy doing the workouts more. Remember that 90-degree, trying to lift through your upper back muscles. Soft knee bend, core tight, Kegel engaged. Last 2. Last 1. Okay. Now, if you haven't already, take a quick drink break. So stop the video, take a drink break, and come back. Okay, so second movement series that we're going to do is going to be a mountain climber from the floor. So remember when we did those scapular pushes? You want to make sure you're in the top position of the scapular push, so your shoulder blades aren't collapsed, but you're in that top position. Set that core, Kegel is fired, and then I want you to go into a full push-up. Now from here, maintain the upper scapular position, keep the belly button drawn in, and I want you to drive one leg, hold 1, 2, and switch. 1, 2, and switch. 1, 2, and switch. 1, 2. Okay, we're just going to advance it just slightly. You're going to go knee touch and then drive the toe a little bit higher. So knee drive and then actually tap that toe just an inch or 2 higher without rounding through that spine when you do that extra little toe movement. So knee drive, toe tap. Knee drive, toe tap. That extra little toe tap should fire the abs just a little bit more. Keep drawing the belly button in, firing that Kegel. We got 4 more. 1. Doing a total of 20 side. 2, 3, and 4. And relax down, push back into a little bit of a child's pose. Reach over to one side, and then the other, and flip over on your back. We're going to do floor flatteners, another good postural exercise, and a good way to get back to the Kegel. So fire the Kegel, little grip underneath your back, hands pressed into the floor, trying to get the wrists on the back of the mat. Reach your hands up, sliding, and then come down. 15 repetitions. Thinking about that Kegel. 2, 3, 4. Actively pushing the hands into the mat. Feeling the upper back muscles working. There's 5. Relax the Kegel for 1 second. Reset the Kegel. Another 5. 1. So while the focus on this exercise really is about posture, it's a perfect exercise to reconnect with that Kegel and drawing the belly button in. Make sure you're breathing, not holding your breath. There's another 5. Relax the Kegel. Reset. Belly button in. A little grape underneath your back. 1. Reach down a little bit further if you can without letting the upper back come off, without letting the wrist swing off the ground. 2 to go. 1. And 2. Okay, go back to your push-up position, just changing positions, unless it gets a better view at the camera. So once again, let the shoulder blades collapse, push up so you're in that good shoulder blade or scapular set, belly button in nice and tight, Kegel engaged, go into that push-up. So your option here is to do the knee tap or the knee drive into the toe tap, or just stay with the knee drive. So go whichever level feels comfortable for you. I'm going to do the first 4 just with the knee drive, and then I'm going to do my last 16 adding the toe tap. If you do that toe tap, double check. Your upper back should not change position through that toe tap. There's 10. 1. Keep drawing that belly button in. 2. 3. 4. Upper body's working really hard to stabilize through that movement. I should say. 4 to go. Drawing that belly button in. That might have been it. We're going to do 2 more. And relax. Push back. Child's pose. Let's do wide knee child's pose this time. Head on the ground. Walk your fingertips forward. Now over to one side. And over to the other side. And into another set of floor flatteners. So Kegel is fired. Shoulders back. Let's do 10 this time before we reset the Kegel. Reaching up and down as far as you can. Kegel still turned on. Low back gently pressed into the grape. So if I'm talking about that grape, just a reminder, you have an imaginary grape placed underneath your spine. You're not crushing it. You're just gently applying pressure. Kegel still pulled up and in. Here's 10 right here. Relax the Kegel. Relax the core for just a sec. Reset everything. Little grape, belly button in, Kegel fired. 5 more reps. 1. Good chest opener, upper back worker. 2. 3. Keep that Kegel turned on. 4. Last one. And 5. And you are done. So let's just do a quick couple of stretches here. Go into a kneeling hip flexor stretch. Shoelaces are down. Actively push the back shoelace into the ground. That's going to accentuate the back hip flexor stretch. Holding 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go another 5 seconds. I'm not really holding these stretches as long as I'd like you to. I would encourage you to hold them longer. I will post a full, complete stretching video in the near future that you can follow along and do proper length stretches. Keep your chest on the thigh. Lift the back knee back an inch. Shift back. Toe comes up. Getting a nice stretch. Really deep stretch through the calf. A little bit through the high hamstring here. Fingertip pressure. You won't feel that stretch unless you're keeping your chest in contact with that thigh. So I hope you enjoyed that workout. Lots of posture, lots of core, some functional movement there as well. A reminder, if you found that too challenging, there's a beginner workout. And there's also, if you found that too easy, there's an advanced workout version of my prenatal series. And it is a series, so one of the things that I find interesting, switch sides, shift your weight forward, shoelaces down. There's definitely some good videos out there. I have just not found any that make an actual workout series with progressions. And to me that's very important because exercise is about learning, it's about developing good movement patterns, and it's a process. So we kind of have to build and layer on it. So that's the goal of these videos, is to be able to actually give you some good solid skills, and as well to progress you through some strengthening, some posture, and some flexibility that's going to take you through your pregnancy and hopefully make you feel a lot better. And shift back, lift the back knee back. And by the way, let me know how you are feeling. I will share with you that through trimester 1, unfortunately, I've been feeling like, I've been feeling not so hot. So I can definitely appreciate those of you who have been dealing with nausea. Definitely through why choose a time of day when I shoot these videos where I'm feeling decent. I have periods through my day. Sit down, and let's go into a glute stretch. So extend one leg crosses over, lifting up nice and tall. I have periods through my day where I do feel decent, but I definitely have lots of waves of nausea, and for me, I get more evening sickness. So you will get through it. I'm just at the very tail end of my first trimester, and I'm beginning to see a light at the end of the tunnel, just starting to feel like a normal human being, like I'm not going to fall deathly ill with flu every single night. So trust me, I appreciate where you're coming from if you're having trouble getting through this first trimester. If you're having an awesome first trimester and you have no idea what I'm talking about, lucky you. I was much more like that during my first pregnancy, so enjoy it and just keep plugging along. No matter what, for every individual, every pregnancy is different. Every day is different through your pregnancy. So do what you can every day. Try to stay as active as you can. These videos are a great resource to get the proper functional movements and injury prevention type things and maintaining your fitness level throughout. But don't forget to do things that you really enjoy, like going out with your family or friends for hikes or bike rides or power walks, whatever it is. Feel free to enjoy life as well. And then last stretch that I will have you finish off with is to find a wall, a 90-degree chest stretch. So take your arm to 90 degree up against the wall and lean into that stretch. If for any reason you feel any tension into the shoulder, you can take that to a low chest stretch, your choice. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and over to the other side. Again, 90-degree angle up against that wall. Good chest stretch, core and tight, shoulder stacked over top hips. And option again, low chest stretch if you feel that's preferable for you. So thanks so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you for workout 2. Just a quick reminder, when you do these videos, you can choose to do workout 1 and workout 2 in a given week, or you can do workout 1 a couple of times throughout. So some people like more consistency. If you're someone who thrives on change and you like to differ up your workouts, I would do workout 1, workout 2 for the first 2 to 3 weeks, and then go workout 3, 4. Or you can do workout 1 for 2 to 3 weeks, then workout 2 for 2 to 3 weeks. You can kind of do whatever works for you. So good luck, and we'll see you next time.